Hello and welcome to the two-man power trip of wrestling. Your host, JP John Poz, with me today, very special guest. I'm going to have to bring the energy today because we got the energy drink king, Vinny Pacifico. Vinny, welcome to the two-man power trip. How you doing?
You know it. Thank you very much for having me. Doing very well. How are you?
Good, good. What's going on in your world? What are you up to?
A lot of just traveling, a lot of wrestling, a lot of just nonstop work. I've actually never been this tired before, ever in my life, and I've just been going through a lot of traveling, a lot of no sleep, but it's all worth it.
You know what you could do, to not be tired? Drink an energy drink.
That's true too. That's true too. That was good. That was good. No, yeah, I listen. I'm trying to limit them to a certain point, but they do come in handy when I need them.
Yes, yes. So what's going on with just like what you're doing it and staying busy, like you said? What are you doing? What have you been doing? Like traveling a lot?
Traveling a lot, constant wrestling, constant bookings, constant gym twice a day. Sometimes I'm trying to do. Trying to really hit the ground running on a lot of different projects, a lot of things in wrestling and out. Um, Working on some deals in terms of sponsorships outside of wrestling as well as in. Like the G Fuel deal that I have is really cool, but also I'm working on a few others. Um, and some projects I can't be mentioned, but just a lot of work, a lot of things that have to do with wrestling, and a lot that don't. So I'm this. It's a lot that's going to make me more valuable as a talent.
Do you think it like right now, like you're seeing it sound very mature because a lot of guys like it's all about the wrestling. You're kind of making the realization it's not all about the wrestling, it's about
Yeah.
the other stuff and kind of putting it into your character, right?
Yeah, I yes. So the brand is Vinny Power Punch Pacifico, right? Power Punch.
Yep.
But I
Yep.
feel like if Power Punch could be a name that's going to be used not only in wrestling and just as a as like a public figure and also an influencer could be really good. I again wrestling my world. Wrestling number one will be. But I think that if I could become a brand outside pro wrestling as well, that would make me more valuable in wrestling. And it
Yep.
has. And being signed to G Fuel, because like again, my character is very high energy drink, also energy drink driven. You know what I mean? So it all coincides together and works really well. And then eventually I got signed by Bang Energy, which is awesome. And then G Fuel signed me after that. So it was just such a really cool transition, and it's really cool to see how the fans and the followers of G Fuel are gravitating towards me because they're also wrestling fans. Some of them, and I noticed a lot of them call me like Stone Cold Steve Austin of G Fuel, which is pretty funny.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so I believe, and also as I was saying, there are other projects that are being worked on that have to do with wrestling and also not wrestling. So it's like it's a lot of things that will make my value increase, and I'm very excited for it.
How did the G Fuel thing come about? How did you get that?
So it was so so how do I put this? So long story short, EC3 called me with our buddy JC and said, Vinny, you have the it factor. We don't know what it is, but you have it. And you need more of a character. And I was like, all right, great. And after hanging out with them all the time and learning from them and growing, they said, you drink a lot of energy drinks. How about you use this in your wrestling, Or at least entrance with it. Or at least use it like you're high energy. So take that and use that. So I started entering with the drink and maybe, doing some funny little skits with the drink or whatever it is. And eventually I did a wrestling match in Oregon. I used an energy drink in a match to like Popeye, right?
Yep.
Drank it, hooked up, did the whole comeback thing. And it went viral on Twitter and I think Instagram. I think it was Twitter. A week later, I got an email from Bang Energy and they wanted to sign me. I didn't believe it. I didn't believe nothing. I was like, there's no way. I was like, I
Right.
X out the phone, went back to my drive, whatever. And then I went to the store. I look at the email, and there's signatures like in the bottom of the contract, like, oh hey, Vinny, and I was like, wow, this is actually legit. Sign with Bang, and that really put me on the map. You know what I mean? An independent wrestler signing a deal with a company as big as Bang is just like a really big deal.
Yep.
So that blew me up, got me a lot of podcasts, got me really seen. And then eventually the Bang deal ended, sadly. within 3 days, G Fuel signed me immediately. So that shows you like what I was doing was working and what I was doing was being seen, which is very, very cool and very humbling, to see that like what I'm doing is being actually noticed. Did that, and then now G Fuel is also pushing me other directions in terms of like my growth, in terms of my name value, because G Fuel is a really big brand. They have like over 7 million followers on all social media, so it's really, really cool to see how these fans are like starting to look at wrestling and see what I'm doing and see what and enjoying it, So yeah, so I'm very, very blessed to be in the spot that I'm in right now.
I love it. What was the inspiration behind you doing that at first? Was it literally like I'm going to be Popeye the Sailor Man with the spinach? Was that literally
I don't
like your
even know.
inspiration?
I don't even. I mean, it was sort of like it was supposed to be a heel character, villain character, you could say. Because I was supposed to be so energetic, which I am, but so energetic, so what's the word? So fidgety and so like over the top that it's annoying, and fans end up hating me. So I tried doing that for a few shows, and the fans ended up not hating me one bit and loving me even more than they could have ever possible, I thought. So I was like, okay, let's just go with this and just they're liking it, they're loving it, they're enjoying it. Let's just go full force into this. And then I guess maybe you could say it was Popeye-esque. It was more so like think Stone Cold Steve Austin, like coming out doing his thing, but also having the drinks being thrown at him or whatever, or Kurt Angle with the milk. Or Popeye, yeah, like, like, you know what I mean? It's an accessory that, like, I'm a character, and this is like also an accessory that I have. You know what I mean? So think of an example of if I have action figure. Someone asked me this once on a podcast. If I'm an action figure, I would want my shirt, my backwards hat, my necklace. I have a chain and a drink, all in the action figure box with me. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So yeah, that was what I really was like thinking about. That's how I kind of like it. How it's like all connected into one brand and one character. And yeah, so that's how it all started. That was the inspiration. Like just like sort of all those things culminating into one. And yeah, it works.
It's like Jake the Snake. He's got the snake in his action figure. You got the energy drink.
Exactly. Got this. Yeah, you have to have. I think there's layers to what you could do. Like yes, in the ring, I'm high energy. Yes, I could do all these crazy things, but also have layers behind it. Have reasons for something. Like, you know what I mean? So there's just so much you could do with like wrestling. It's a beautiful art form that if you think outside the box, you do extra things, it could make the world of a difference. You know what I mean? Adding just spunk or adding like a certain movement to what you do in the ring can just mean so much. An example of that, we Randy Orton. I'm sure you as you know, you see what he does in the ring. He's phenomenal. The small things matter so much. So if you just see, if you have like, if I'm in the ring, I'm doing a small like little movement or a type of facial expression or the way I grab my body part. If I'm in pain, there's just so much that every character you have to be unique about everything you do.
That is so true, and learning that now, I mean, Orton, you're right. Every little thing that he does means something in the ring, and then it obviously gets the crowd excited, gets the crowd to pop. But he doesn't go crazy and do a million Canadian destroyers or anything like that. I mean, he does small things that just he knows how to execute out there. That's great to learn that.
Exactly, and that's something that I study him. I study him, Kurt Angle, a lot of John Cena, a lot of Bryan Danielson, a lot of Dolph Ziggler. Just a lot. These people are just so good at what they do. And yeah, and it was just when you find what works for you and you explore it and you make it work in other ways. Because also, I believe as a character, you got to put yourself in situations that you wouldn't normally be in, right? So if I'm wrestling the Boogeyman, right, what would Power Punch do against the Boogeyman, or what would Power Punch do against Great Khali? These are two different matches, but two different huge opponents that I would have to wrestle differently. So it's just really cool to have a character and something that works for you and just find ways to make it work different with each opponent you have.
Very true. Very true. Now, like, let's say you went viral, right? What is that like? What was that like? Because not everybody kind of aspires like, oh, hope I go viral, hope I get noticed, hopefully. What is that actual feeling like? Because it's almost surreal, right? It's got to be.
It's crazy. It's crazy to just see how it happened. And that whole that whole 3-month period of my career was like a snowball effect. I did a red carpet in California with my wife. We did some like really cool thing, and actually I signed a bank contract over there. I had some people with me who were very smart with contracts, so that's where all that happened. And then after that, I did the Kurt Angle podcast, and I was talking to him, and then I was talking to. Then the bank thing ended, and then the G Fuel got me on, and then all this snowballed really quick. And then New Japan got me booked on their show, and then I got booked for a place in Japan. So like everything was a snowball effect from that moment on, and it was just crazy because actually thinking of it, my mother-in-law passed away the 1st of January of last year. I had AEW the 5th or the 4th on a Wednesday, right? And then the 6th on a Saturday. It might be the 7th. I'm sorry if I'm getting the dates wrong. Usually I'm really good with dates. And it might be the 8th. But that Saturday, that was the moment I went viral. Once the footage got released, that went viral, right?
Yep.
And then from there, did the LA red carpet walk. Then I signed the contract with Bang, and then announced the Bang thing. And then from there, I had some really good opponents. EC3, I had all these really, really sick opponents that are wrestling. EC3, Rocky Romero, Matt Sydal, Bobby Fish, so it's just really just snowballing from like big match to big match to big match to traveling here, traveling there, LA, Texas, Florida, Oregon, Seattle, and it's just nonstop. And then the big deals came about, and then being on the Kurt Angle podcast is a really big deal for me. And then later on, getting on the Gangrel podcast, because Gangrel is somebody who I want to mention right now is somebody who has so much faith in me and someone who's put a lot of work into me and helped me out a lot in my career. So I want to just give him a shout out. Dave, I love you. You're an amazing guy. And so all that, and then actually the Road Dogg podcast got me even more exposed. So just so much has happened in the last year, and I'm so blessed to be able to do the things I've done because it's not common, So that's how it all started. That's how it all snowball affected into what it is now.
It's interesting with AEW because you were there in 2020, right, during the pandemic, and then once you kind of got hotter, it caught some fire. You returned years later. So
Yes.
Much different, right? Much different feeling than when, hey, I'm just going there, losing a Wardlow,
Yep.
real quick, and then when you came back this time around.
So different, so much different, and just everything was it was just such a crazy feeling because we had lost my mother-in-law, so it was just so like my mind was in a totally different place, just like grinding, because when I just used that as fuel to get better and as fuel to work harder and just do something to make a difference.
Is that a place you'd like to go back to?
Yes, 100%. I feel as if that locker room is just so amazing, and I've worked in a lot of locker rooms, Ring of Honor, Evolve, New Japan. I've been in so many locker rooms, and I would tell you, AEW is like one of my favorite ones to ever go in. And even just the people. Also, to be fair, a lot of the ROH guys when I was in Ring of Honor are also at AEW now, but it doesn't matter. I'll tell you, that locker room is bar none so hardworking, so passionate, and so ready to just make wrestling better. And that's what I want to be a part of. I want to be a part of a locker room that wants to grow. And I was a part of NXT locker room also, and that was really fun too. So both places I really enjoyed working for.
Any talks, anything like that where, hey, maybe it's potential that I could be, looking their way possibly, or maybe goals of heading that direction?
Goals, definitely. I want to be, I have so many goals. I want to be everywhere that I can be. I want to be everywhere at once. And that's a problem because I get myself in situations where it's like, I have so much happening and it's just like, sometimes overwhelming, but I've been very good to where, it all evens out. But yes, I definitely love to work for AEW again. NXT is definitely a place I want to work. Road Dogg, he's a lot in me, and we talk. Gabe Sapolsky is somebody I talk to. Gabe is the man. I love Gabe. Gabe Sapolsky is one of my favorite people. So yeah, these are just things that I'm working towards, and it's feeling really cool to just see things play out in my career.
Very also very cool to see some of these videos and some other viral videos you made go. What has kind of been your favorite one? I like the Dreamer one because he's always good as like the straight
Oh my
man
god.
and you're
Yeah.
like a nut. But then also Ken Anderson turns into a nut. So that one is good too. But what's kind of your
I'm
favorite
so
one?
happy you love those two because those are my two favorites also. Um, Tommy Dreamer was phenomenal to do one with because he was just so down. I was like, hey, like, you want to do one? He's like, oh hell yeah, I have an idea ready, and I'm like, oh, this is so cool. It was so cool, and just meant the world to me to be able to do that with him. Ken was also very into it. Ken loved it. Like, it's so cool to see how these people like get the character. You know what I mean? And worked well with me. Like every promo I've done, every skit that I've done, one take. Except for like maybe two of them, but like it doesn't take more than a few minutes to do it. You know, you're in and out, done. But Ken was very down, and Ken literally said, "Let's just do this and just off the rail, just go into it. No need to discuss anything, just go." And it was really really good. So yeah, I would say Ken, Mr. Kennedy, one of my favorite ones. Tommy Dreamer, Gangrel was always a hit. I want to do an updated one with him because I didn't do a G Fuel one with him. I did the OG and the OG drinks that I had with him. I really enjoyed John Morrison. The John Morrison one was more of like a comedy skit more than Andy drinks. You know, that was just more of like a fun one to do with somebody. But yeah, like these are everything. They're not just energy drinks. They could be anything. I have such a fun character. I feel like I could do anything that I want to do with this character. Whether it's terribly doing parkour, whether it's falling on my whatever it is, it could be. I feel like my character, if I really dive deep into who I am as a person, I could be really funny. And if I go into that, I think money can be made. So yeah, if I have to say favorite one, Kennedy.
You're a content creator, you know what I mean? Like you're not
Yeah.
just energy drink, not just wrestling, you're a content creator. Yeah.
Yes.
Is it hard to pitch some of those guys? Like, let's say maybe they don't get it, or they're like, "Hey, I'm pitching you an idea," or is everybody pretty open to it?
Everyone, like a lot of them has seen them already. So they kind of, I think most of them has seen them and gets it already. Who didn't understand? I mean, I'm pretty sure everyone really got it so far, and everyone really. And then some people asking me to do them, like come to me at the show. Hey, Vinny, want to do a video? I love your videos. Can I be a part of one? And I'm like, and I like to tell people I have a very big helping heart where I just want to help people out. So I'll always try to give some helping hand if you're a good person, and I'll definitely throw them in a video. And a few people have actually hit me up and like, hey, Vinny, I sold a few shirts after doing this with you. You know what I mean? It's pretty cool to see that. But yeah, I'm pretty sure actually everyone's got it except maybe just like one. I don't remember. I had to explain to them. Pretty much it's not that hard, honestly. You just say, hey, like I do these things where I have a drink and I'm just over the top and energetic and we just go from there. It's pretty simple,
And it's cool that they, since you were viral, a lot of them probably saw it already. Like, oh, I want a piece of this, or I want to be part of it. Or like Kurt Angle, even, a guy you watched and loved, messaging you and say, hey, you got to be on my podcast. I want to be a part of this in some way.
I love to do Kurt Angle, because I think it's just the milk and the drink it works so well. It works so well. EC3 was really good to do one with because he's just so good. I don't know I don't think people understand how good he really is and how deep, like everything he does means something, and his character work is bar none. Just like if you literally take a step back and watch EC3 as a character, it's just phenomenal, and he's really one of the best. I have to give him credit for that.
As we wind it down, head towards the finish here, give me a couple dream matches, and then aside, give me some dream like videos you'd like to do, like maybe like a Steve Austin beer versus drink or something. But give me both of those.
Wow, you're amazing. This is a fun podcast. You're amazing. So yeah, I would say dream match that I have. I mean, are these possible matches, or are these just like
throw it out there? Yeah, it could be anything.
Bryan Danielson's a match that I've always wanted. He's my favorite wrestler of all time. Bryan Danielson. I'm wrestling Paul London, who's a dream match of mine, next month, March 23rd at Pro Wrestling Magic. So that's been a dream match of mine for a long time, and finally it's happening. He's Paul London is bar none one of the best in the business. But yeah, Bryan Danielson is a dream match. Definitely Dolph Ziggler, Nick Nemeth. Rocky Romero, a rematch with him would be a match that I would love to have again because he's just phenomenal. Probably the best guy I've been in the ring with in my career. Kurt Angle, of course, who wouldn't wrestle Kurt Angle? And I would say also Shawn Michaels. Talking about just people in general who I love to wrestle and dream matches, those are mine. And dream skits or dream promo work, right? Segments you want to call it. Say Kurt Angle with the milk and energy drink is hilarious. I feel like Steve Austin because just writes itself, right? And I gotta say John Cena because who is a better promo than John Cena? There is none, in my opinion. And I would say CM Punk. And maybe just one more. Because CM Punk with the Pepsi, right? One more, I would say. Triple H.
Oh, you could do the water.
Yes. And I don't know why I'm picking all people with just drinks and stuff. Well, John Cena I picked and also, a few others. But I'm saying I think these people would really challenge me as a promo. You know what I mean? And really have me step out of my game. Kevin Owens also, because he's just I've really grown to appreciate promo guys and just how much work goes into it and how good you got to really work on them. Like I said, EC3 and I, we sat in a room for hours on hours doing promos together. And EC3, another one EC3 would be cool because EC3 is just awesome to work with, like I said.
Any places you want to work? I know you work Japan, but any other places you want to work?
In terms of countries?
Yeah.
I am actually debuting in a place that I would love to work in France later this year. Which is, I mean, listen, I think France is beautiful and getting to wrestle there will be awesome. So yeah, I'm going there later this year to France. I'm going back to the UK most likely July or August. I want to go back to Japan. And also I would say Italy.
Nice. Very cool. Now,
Thank you very much.
What are some goals of yours? Just could be wrestling, not wrestling. What do you want to do? You know what I mean? What does the future look like?
I would like to get signed, of course, and work for a brand and, grow with the brand and make the brand better. And just, that's always a goal. I feel like that's always someone's goal, I feel like, as a wrestler. But I also want to create a brand so big that even after I'm 30 years, 40 years wrestling, or even after that, I'm a producer or whatever, own a school, that brand is still being carried on. So that's the Power Punch brand, so I'm going to break some ice, but I want to get my own drink and my own energy drink. And that's something that's we're talking some things about that.
Awesome.
And there are, like I said, there's other brands being discussed, and there are things that are being put in motion that will be possibly really good for my future. So that's the whole goal, is just to grow as a brand, grow as a wrestler, and become so valuable that I will elevate anywhere that I work and people that I work with.
Love that. And Emperor Palpatine is the greatest character in Star Wars history, for sure.
The best. He is so genius, and he manipulates so many people, and he will literally manipulate you right in front of your face as he's killing your son, right? Isn't that crazy to you that he's literally killing Luke, and then tells Luke to kill his father, and and John Theater's looking at him are you kidding me? That was just crazy to me. The balls he has, right?
Yeah. Yep. And then manipulating young Anakin into killing Mace Windu. I mean, he's a master manipulator.
Exactly. It's crazy, and I love it. It's so good.
Now, as far as you, where can everybody find you? G Fuel, Power Punch, everything where can everybody find you?
Oh, where can they find me? So if you want to find G Fuel, or you want to buy G Fuel, go on gfuel.com, and anything you buy, Power Punch in the code, get a nice discount. You can follow me on Instagram at Vinny Pacifico, Twitter, Vinny Pacifico 1, Instagram, Vinny Pacifico. I said that already. I'm sorry. Facebook, Vinny Pacifico. Pretty simple. Twitter is the best one because that's where everything goes. I have all my promos and my highlights, and that's Vinny Pacifico 1.
Any more viral videos that we should be expecting anytime soon?
Yes, yes, and there are a lot of things in the motion that is. I can't really put too much out there, but I can say that there will be something very soon that should very well give everyone an inside look at what Power Punch really is in the best
Love
way
that.
possible.
Awesome. Vinny, thank you so much for all the time today. Really appreciate it.
Thank you very much for having me. I appreciate you. I had a great time.